Okay, I'm headed out with some cantaloupe and a tripod. The horses are down there and I'm gonna take them some treats. I'm gonna try and film it for you guys. So as I walk down to the horses, I'm doing Montaro's energy technique he taught me called as above, so below. And that means I'm pulling prana from above into my crown and from the ground up through the soles of my feet. I'm mixing them together in my heart center and sending the energy out the front and back of my heart.
Montaro's technique for as above, so below is taught in the workshop for how to set and hold healthy boundaries, and also in the Evolved Human Apprenticeship program.
All right, let's see if I can get the camera set up so that I can film this for you guys.
We had a lot of input a few weeks ago to my video showing my cousin Katrina giving the horses treats and practicing with her body energy, so I thought I would film my version and how I do it just for an alternate view. So remember, I've already done Montaro's as above, so below energy technique to ground and also push out my energy. And in the bag, I have cantaloupe and oranges. So once they get a taste of it, they're going to be pretty excited about it. Whether I feed the horses by hand or I throw it on the ground really depends again on the energy feel that I'm getting from that horse and the horses around it. You'll notice how Zora, as one of the lowest ranking horses, is right in the back and has waited until the end to get her share. And you can see I'm putting some on the ground because I've saved quite a bit for her. And the other reason I'm putting it on the ground is to take myself and the bag away from her. So that gives her more time to eat before any horses come over to check her out. If I were to stand there and hand feed them, they would start moving towards me, and she as a low-ranking horse would have to move away, even though according to human terms the other horses weren't close, but in horse terms they would be too close to her. So again, this is more about being familiar with the herd dynamics and how they naturally communicate and their natural spacing requirements, and that just takes time and experience. When you're with this herd of semi-feral and formerly wild horses, you have to always watch the herd dynamic. So right there, you saw Sione coming in with her ears back. She was asking Montaro to move. There she goes again. See, her hind is starting to swing round. So I'm moving right out of the way because I don't know how Montaro's going to respond. I don't know if he's going to get spicy back with her or if he's suddenly going to move towards me and then I'm in the way. So it doesn't matter which horse you're with, you're always watching the other horses as well. You can't ever take your eye off or not be aware. And this was one of the first things the horses taught me in the early years. And I tried to say, look, I'm a weak little slow human and you have to watch out for me. And they were like, are you kidding me? You're a frickin' ninja. You can go through fences. So they were not having that excuse. And their position was that I'm part of the herd and I needed to behave like a member of the herd. And as it took about I would say over a year, and then all of a sudden this primal sensing turned on. And I became, I think, the way humans were back when we had to hunt for our food, and where we sometimes were food for predators. And I literally would know what was happening behind me without having to look. And the day that I was with the horses and I was the first one to feel that there was a coyote on the edge of the field and look, a split second before the horses did, I was like, oh, bam, I have arrived. Their teaching has landed. So that's a huge difference between this herd and a domesticated herd, where from a very early age, often birth, the horses have been taught that the human is dominant, that you never ever move into the human space. Humans view that as disrespectful. The horse is punished severely for ever moving into the human space or putting the human in physical danger, and that's not how I roll with these guys at all. It's a very different dynamic. And interestingly enough, the people who've come out here, the horse people are the least safe with this herd because of that preconceived bias that they have been trained into. The people who know nothing about horses, or who are maybe a little scared of horses, so they're really got their senses turned on and they're listening to their own body wisdom, they're actually a lot safer with this herd because they are reading the cues from the horses. They are reading the horses' messaging a lot more clearly than most horse people. You may also notice that almost all the burrs are gone, miraculously gone from the horses' manes and tails and forelocks, something that hundreds of viewers were seriously disturbed about in my previous videos, and a few of them unsubscribed and said, I can't watch your videos because of your abusive practices with these horses and the burdock burrs. And it didn't matter that I explained 50 times that I could remove every single burr and in 5 hours they would all be back in. That didn't matter for people's judgment and outrage. So I hope that some of those people are still watching and they can see that nature does know how to take care of itself. And the reason the horses were not concerned with the burrs and kept going in and getting more burrs is because their interpretation and relationship with burdock burrs is nothing like the judgmental humans. And so this is an opportunity for everybody to open their eyes a little bit wider and, again, have some trust that nature does know what it's doing. Montaro has a ton of botfly eggs on him, more than anyone else, so I gotta go get something and remove them. Okay, so don't knock the camera, please. I've got a knit comb and I've got a straight edge razor. I just tried the knit comb on Juno and it doesn't work at all. So yeah, it gets off the dirt, but none of the knits. Now, the problem with the razor, Taro, can we move back here? Taro, come on. Come on, Taro. Come over here so the camera can get you. So you see, I've asked Montaro and I've explained to him why I want him to move further back from the camera. And I don't need to keep asking him because horse time is different from human time. And he has responded to me and he has agreed to my suggestion. He just took his own time to do it. You can do a rear. Yeah, he's like scratch under my belly. So I want to get these knits off, but I have to be like super careful. And if Montaro gets it all jumpy, it's not safe at all. This is the one where you have the most, Taro. Can you move away, Juno? It's not safe for me.
Juno, leave the camera. Juno. Juno. No, darling. Please don't. Please don't. Juno. Ah. Come on. Come away from the camera. Come on.
So again, this is about me taking responsibility for my physical safety within the herd dynamic. I don't feel comfortable being sandwiched between Montaro and Juno in case Montaro suddenly decides to tell Juno to move, or, you know, and I'm crouched down, I'm in a vulnerable position. I'm already uncomfortable because that razor is really sharp. If Montaro moves his leg, I could cut him. If he twitches his skin, I could cut him. So I'm really having a conversation with them about the need to be calm if I'm to be in this position. And so you see, as soon as Juno comes in, I'm moving away because that's not safe for me.
So it just doesn't work. Neither of these tools works really well. If you have something that works for knits, this works fine for knits. It does not work for botfly eggs. So, and I do remember at the old place, I bought a tool specifically for botfly eggs and it didn't work well at all either. So if anybody has found something that works well to remove botfly eggs, please let us know. Juno, he's just like, just scratch my belly. I have dangerous tools with me, Juno. You are so pushy today. What the heck? Other side. You're going to stop being pushy when I've done your ears to your satisfaction, sir.
So I just closed the gate down there to give Zoe some time and space. The gate up the top is still open. So if anybody wanted to, they could come in through that gate, and when Zora's done eating, she can leave easily. But this gives her time and space because she's one of the lower ranking horses and she's the oldest. At 19, it gives her just a really relaxed space to eat without rushing or any kind of stress or anything. And she's got water right there too. This gives me a good opportunity to show you what the botfly eggs actually look like and how they attach themselves to the horse's legs. Botflies are a very interesting parasite. They need the horse to kind of lick them, and the friction and moisture from the horse's licking is what causes them to hatch. And then they are ingested, you know, into the horse's mouth, where they develop for over 3 weeks to a month. And then they migrate into the stomach, and they attach to the intestinal mucosa, and then they kind of hang out for 8 to 12 months while they grow. And then after they've fully developed in the gut wall, the larvae then detach from the lining and they pass through the digestive tract where they're excreted in the horse's feces. But this is the weird thing. The adult botfly does not have a mouth and is unable to feed. She only lives for a few days to reproduce, find a horse, host, and deposit her eggs, and the whole cycle starts again. So it's just really strange. And I can't see that this is, harmful to a healthy horse. And they are transient parasites. Their purpose is never to just attach inside the horse and cause issues. They're going to pass right out and into the manure. To be honest, I've never had or seen any health issues with the horses as a result.